You're listening to RideAlong, EMT School. I'm Mike.
And I'm Max. We're two students navigating EMT school, bringing you along week by week.
And I'm Jonathan, paramedic, bringing real-world perspective.
Join us as we share the lessons, challenges, and stories from EMT school, and hear insights from those already living the EMS life. Welcome to the RideAlong. Ooh, we're here.
We're moving right along.
We're back. Episode 8 of
Prove It or Lose It.
Yep. Competency verification and skills check.
That's it, baby.
Which is a real barn burner of a title.
It is indeed.
It means you made it through 8 classes.
Yes, we've made it through 8 classes. But you know what? Let's make sure that we're at least welcoming everybody to the RideAlong EMT School podcast. We're very happy to have you here with us again. Hopefully you've been enjoying the ride so far. Tonight is a bit of a recap.
Yeah.
Like a mid-season recap of the, like those episodes of the television shows that you hate where it's like just showing clips of other episodes from the season. I hated those. I'm like, what writer strike caused this bullshit?
There was some kind of a box they had to check for those things.
Yeah, they're like, we need to fill like all 21 episodes of this season. We need one to just be like a clips episode. No, hopefully we're going to give you a little bit more than that.
Yep.
And we're actually going to not go so deep into what we've learned so far, although that was our class this week. Our 8th class was the review class. Yeah. Like we sat in a room, the instructor kind of went, okay, ask me questions about what you've learned so far.
Which I think was awesome because it allowed us to get that opportunity to ask questions about the things that were a little fuzzy on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And a lot of skills practice.
Yes.
That's what we'll definitely talk about this week because I think that's the meat and potatoes of what we're doing as EMTs and in EMT school is like learning practical skills.
Yep.
So that's a lot of fun. Hey everybody, before we go any further into the episode, I want to talk about this week's sponsor. In EMS, every second matters. When you're cutting away clothing during that urgent trauma assessment or getting to bare skin for your electrodes during a cardiac arrest, your shears must work the first time, every time. That's why professionals trust X-Shear heavy-duty trauma shears. Engineered with hardened stainless steel blades and a patented curved design, X-Shear cuts quickly and cleanly through tough materials that stop ordinary shears cold. The titanium coating resists corrosion, the blunt safety tip protects your patient, and the heavy-duty rivet construction holds up under the toughest calls. With soft touch grips and a full line of rugged holsters, your X-Shear is always secure and instantly available. For EMTs, paramedics, and emergency service providers nationwide, X-Shear is built to perform when seconds count. Visit xshear.com today and get the shears trusted by professionals who can't afford failure. And don't miss your chance to win your very own set of X-Shears and a matching holster. Enter now through the giveaway link in our bio. Hurry! Giveaway ends October 20th, 2025. And now back to the episode. Yeah, and I think hopefully along the way, what you guys will take away from this too is why it's often important to take moments like this, to reflect, to see what you've learned so far, to review all the things, and just to kind of go, oh yeah, there was that thing we learned. And from a personal note and from like, the standpoint of just a student, sometimes it's nice to kind of take a look back and go, man, we're learning a lot.
I think it's important to also kind of state where you're at and what you've accomplished because it can seem like this giant encompassing thing that you can't really wrap your head around. Whereas if you're able to break it up, okay, section 1 is done. And these are all the things that we've learned in that first section. I think it's good. It's good for your mental state.
Jonathan, does that keep happening? Like, does it ever go away? Like, I know you're like
No.
20 years down the line from us. But do you still get those times when you're like, oh man, I've progressed a lot?
Man, there's always somebody out there that knows more than you.
Yeah.
I don't make any illusions about being, the smartest guy or knowing every single thing there is to know about medicine. But I had a good medical director one time tell me that we call it practicing medicine for a reason because we're always trying to improve. So to answer your question, no, it doesn't ever get any better. Sometimes I still feel like I've got the imposter syndrome going on.
Yeah.
But
But does, like, for instance, you finished paramedic school last year or the year
it's been
before last?
2020 into 2023 is when I
Okay.
finished school.
But like that's a pretty good example of like being able to look back and go, man, I've come a long way, right? Like, especially that.
Yeah.
Like the skills, the ability to, like, or the privileges that you then have. So I'm like, there's always something that you can go, oh wow, I've been able to kind of accomplish this now.
Yeah. And as I have gone through my career, with different things, instructor certifications or paramedic school. I think on my paramedic journey right now, I'm at the point where like you come out of school and you're so glad it's done because it's a brutal experience. But you come out of school and you got a little bit of swagger about you, but then as you start getting into the field, and you're doing the thing, you start to get away from that unconscious incompetence, and then you start to realize. I'm at the point where starting to realize my deficiencies as a paramedic, and starting to try to correct those things. And if you're doing it the right way, then that's what you should be doing, right?
All the time.
Trying to recognize what you don't know and or what you need to improve upon and then fix it.
Yeah.
So, but no, you're always gonna.
Yeah, this is never going to stop. Like,
It's
this
not,
is
it's not gonna stop.
It's like we're at some point we're going to finish EMT school, and then there's going to be the next thing, and the next thing, and then we're going to look back and go, remember when we didn't know what a cardiac cardiovert is?
Synchronized cardiovert.
Synchronized cardiovert.
And we thought it was two guys hanging upside down facing each other.
Yeah. If you want to hear the story of that one, I think that was episode 6.
Yes.
This is me giving the explanation in my head as to what cardioverting is.
Yes.
It was wrong.
I was entertaining though.
Yeah. But yeah, I think even in a few short weeks, I mean, it's been about a month, where we've really picked up a bunch.
Yeah.
I know I'm speaking more intelligibly, and is that maybe not, but professionally, like I understand words more, and I can use the pro speak and understanding concepts and knowing, like, and really kind of embracing the idea of like patient care as like the ultimate end goal, instead of it just being like, I don't know. I think when I first started getting into EMT stuff, it was really more about like, I don't know what the prime motivation for me is, but like I think now it's seeing that as like, a guiding kind of North Star is like giving good patient care. And that's come from discussions and classes and hearing other EMS professionals speak about it.
I think that's the thing, is hearing them speak about, what you're doing, how you should be doing, why you should be doing, their own personal stories. I think that, their experiences coming to us, I think, is 100% kind of gotten our path a little straight as far as what we want to be doing and how we want to do it.
Well, speaking of paths,
so Mike here has already started moving on to getting set up for his RideAlong, getting set up for his clinical assessments.
Well,
is that what it's called?
Clinical hours. Practical experience. So
I hear that you may have joined a EMS department as a volunteer, sir.
I have. I've been lucky enough to start a conversation a while ago with my local EMS chief. He was the one who actually helped me point me to the PA registry, which is where I found out also about. He was the one that mentioned, hey, make sure that you look into scholarship from Pennsylvania for EMT training.
Yep.
He's been a great resource. So when it came time for them, I think it was probably like week 2 or 3 in school, they're like, "Hey, you should be lining up your clinical hours now. Like you should be starting that process." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll reach out to my local EMS service." And lo and behold, that has kind of come to fruition as me being an official member of that, or official volunteer for that service now.
I believe you're wearing one of their shirts tonight,
I
aren't you?
am. Yeah, I do. One of the fun things about this process has been, like, I guess, acquiring a new wardrobe of blue things that have patches on them.
Oh man, you're gonna get so tired of navy blue.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
it's
so
funny.
sick of it.
It's funny because, like, I chose that color as like the bulletin main branding color, so I already have a ton of clothing that's navy
Your
blue.
closet's going to be like, oh my God. Okay, wait a minute. I need to find this navy blue thing.
Yeah.
Where is that navy blue thing?
Yeah. So,
So what was the
welcome to the
process
struggle,
like for
brother.
submitting the application?
sorry, what?
What was the process like for submitting the application?
So the process was, it was actually really like similar to what we went through for school. It was basically having to sign some paperwork, an application, and submitting like all the certs that we have so far. So like all those FEMA certs that we did, we like, those came in handy because
Right.
he was like, "Hey, you're gonna have to go through this." I'm like, "Well, I have those. Here they are, PDFs galore." And then like, I just had a packet of stuff that we had given to EMT school of like, here's my background check and my child abuse clearance and all the stuff,
Fingerprinting and all that lovely
fingerprinting and
stuff.
all the stuff that you need in Pennsylvania to go to EMT school. So I was like, here it all is. And by the way, here's my background. And like, the application asks for like, what other training type things do you have? I'm like, well, how deep do you want me to go in this? Because I have a lot of different skills, but I kind of focused on a few things. One being, I like to put the Eagle Scout thing in there as much as I can, because I find that
Sure.
It is a door opener.
It's a good accolade.
I mean, not a door opener, but it's a thing of like, okay, it's an impression that you're a upstanding citizen.
Well, I
Right.
appreciate from the outside view that that's what it means. To me, it's a comprehensive accomplishment that allowed me to kind of say like, oh, well, I'm independent. I have leadership qualities, and I have like outdoor leadership skills, and like, yes, I do value citizenship in a way that, maybe not everyone does. So I do put that one out there, especially in situations like this where it's like a public service type thing. Like that is a natural
Right.
kind of progression to represent that, like, hey, this is the type of person I am. I also put on there that I was a Part 107 drone operator, which for any nerds out there means that I have an FAA license to operate a drone professionally, which for EMS and rescue departments
Can 100% come into
That's
play.
big.
can be quite beneficial. I was padding the resume, man. Like I wanted to come across in the best light possible.
Now, do you know, Mike, if they have a drone program for your service?
They do not, because they are strictly like a 911. Well, I mean, it's not to say he said. So we have a local nature preserve that, as a matter of fact, my wife just had to get rescued from by me a couple weeks or last weekend because she sprained her ankle.
It was odd. It was almost like we had a class with a scenario very similar to what happened in real life.
We did a practice scenario doing that same exact thing, like in
the same spot.
In the same spot a year ago. So he did mention that every now and then they get calls to that preserve, and they have to figure out how to extricate and get people out of that area. And he's like, yeah, like we do get a call every now and then for those types of things, and it'd be handy to have a drone for those types. I'm like, yes, I think it would. So maybe, who knows? Maybe starting a conversation.
Maybe you start
over
the
there.
drone program.
Yeah, maybe I can.
So I need you to buy this thermal drone model. This is the one that you should buy. This is the one, and I'll just house it very close to the area that you generally need to use it in.
Well,
It'll be this address at this place, and I'll deploy it for you.
well, I mean, so I have one of those already. I have a thermal drone, but I use it for like my goal is to use it for that type of situation and to also further hopefully a drone business and inspection stuff. But I got all types of irons in the fire.
He's got many irons in the fire.
If that could lead to something that is beneficial to expanding the capabilities of my local EMS department, that would be pretty cool. Like I would love to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was a pretty straightforward process.
Did you go in for like an actual interview?
I did go in for an interview. As a matter of fact, I think they had mentioned that it was going to be either like there was an initial interview and then there was going to be like perhaps a board interview of like multiple people. Turns out I think I may have gotten the short path, I guess.
Well, with the resume you gave them, I'm sure it had something to do with why you may have gotten that you're good.
Yeah. So I went in, I had a great conversation with the chief. We chatted about my goals and aspirations and why I want to be an EMT and, all this stuff. Like I was just real with him. Like, listen, I've got a lot of experience in terms of training, but there's only so much training that you can do before you start reaching a ceiling of like practical skills.
Yep.
And I find that the only way for me to progress in that is going to be with real world patient contacts. And that's what I want to do. And that's why I'm like becoming an EMT is really the only professional or not like real world way that you can do that without rolling around and looking for accidents as like a normal, like that would just be weird. Although it's happened to me several times.
It would be a little weird. You just happen to have it happening in front of you.
Yeah.
Several times.
It's really the only legitimate way to like find like experience.
I'm going to drive down this interstate till I see an accident. If I don't see it, I'm going to turn around and go the other way.
Yeah.
And if I don't see it, I'm going to turn around and go the other way.
I'm just going to lay a spike strip out here and eventually an accident will happen.
Oh, geez. Yikes.
Then you start creating, you become like, what was that movie with Bruce Willis where like the guy was looking for superheroes?
Unbreakable?
Unbreakable,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And he like derails the train to see who the superheroes are. Yeah.
Well, that's what you do.
Yikes.
It's for the greater good.
No.
So like what kind of
ceasefire?
So like what kind of schedule are you looking at going forward?
So it's a well, I mean, the interview went really well. He took me around the station. It's combined with the fire department in town. So it's actually a pretty like it's a small town, quote unquote, but it's like it's a paid fire service and a paid EMS service,
which is pretty rare for a lot of small towns rely on volunteers.
Yeah, and I think that's like outside of like a big city metro, which we're right outside of Allentown. Like this is kind of a rare thing. So it's staffed 24/7, and that this is leading to answer your question of like what is the schedule. They basically told me you're a volunteer. We're very excited about your help. We love having EMT students come in. You just tell us when you want to come and we'll accommodate. And I'm like, really? Like
that's why they were throwing a t-shirt out. Like, listen, if you want to, you can get on the bus right now.
Well, I told him that. He's like, well, we have another EMT student coming today. And that's really the only stipulation to scheduling is they're trying not to overload having too many EMT students
with
at
EMTs.
any one time. Yeah, everything went really great. They were, I think the goals aligned. My goals aligned with the goals and like what our service is kind of doing. And plus, really for me, it's like it's my home team, right? Like it's like if I'm gonna go help somewhere, I want to help my town. And
exactly.
I'm a cub master in the town. My daughter goes to school in the town. Like I think this is kind of like the progression of or the natural progression of doing this in terms of like, well, if I'm gonna volunteer, I want to volunteer where I hang my hat.
In 2 years, he's running for mayor.
The campaign starts now.
Mayor, sheriff, or constable.
Constable. They do have constables in Pennsylvania, but it's like an election thing.
Yes.
think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Nice.
my first shift
Ooh.
is this Friday at 6 a.m., which the chief looked at me and went, "Really?" I'm like, because he gave me he's like, whenever you want to come, you want to come in at noon, you want to stay for a couple hours, whatever. I'm like, well, when do you guys like come in? He's like, well, our staff shift change is 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. Like it's a 12-hour shift, and they're staffed by 2 paramedics in each shift, right? And he's like, next Friday, well, our lieutenant will be coming in at 6 a.m. and she'll be the one that you can work with that day. I'm like, can I come in at 6? He's like, why would you want to do that to yourself?
He's like, you're a weirdo.
I'm like, well,
You fit right in.
I'm an adult. Like, I can get up early if I need to, and
yes.
I do it often.
That's not early.
I don't want to, but I do. But Jonathan had mentioned in episode 7, like making sure that you, or maybe it was episode 6. I can't remember which one it was. Episode 6. The tip was, to make sure that you're participating in the truck check. So when he said that, I'm like, oh, I've got a great story about this when we finally get to this thing that I've been going through in terms of the interview and signing up for my first shift. I specifically wanted to do it so that I could be there to see what the shift change was like and to see what that process is, and to be there for the actual truck check, and like, hey, if you're going to check the equipment, I don't want to get in the way, but I'd love to see what you do. So that's
I mean, it makes sense, the ability to get that kind of that tour of the vehicle you're gonna be working in, and having an idea of what the hell is going on in it before you actually go out on the road is a pretty smart move, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just what seemed to be the right thing to do. But
I would agree.
But yeah, so I'm super excited. I've got a couple days left before I go on it, and then I'm already hooked up with like the pager system. Like I can see what calls are happening.
Pager.
I could have gotten an actual pager.
It could have felt like 1992.
But yeah,
all over again.
I have it on my phone. Like there's a phone app now, go figure. So I every now and then I just look in there to see what calls are happening around town, just because I'm curious. I'm like, I wonder how busy the town is.
I think it's exciting, man. I'm really looking forward to hearing what your experience is like.
I know. And I'm just glad I got in before you did, so that me and Jonathan can shame you for not yet joining an EMS
once again
service.
Being shamed.
Yeah.
Once again.
This is how we roll, man. We just shame each other into
how it works.
Into motivating each other into doing good things for
yeah, exactly.
Well, since you're a member now, Mike, I can come do a ride along with you in Pennsylvania and just hang out, and you can show me the ropes.
Well, first off, I don't know what the ropes are yet, so I guess I need to figure that out. And I don't have. Oh, this was the other great thing about the way that that he presented it to me, because I told him, listen, I don't know much. I know some stuff from back, for other training, but as far as EMT training, I'm only 4 weeks in. I've been doing it a month, so I don't know a lot yet.
Sure.
And he goes, no, that's fine. Your role as a student is going to be primarily an observer. You can observe everything. And if there's a point where you're like, hey, I learned how to do lifting, or I know how to help move a patient, just tell them. And if you feel comfortable doing it, they'll incorporate that in and say, hey, we'll get you the experience to do that thing.
Yeah, sure.
But it's really, he's like, you just tell us what you've learned and what you're ready to kind of dig into, and we'll just take it from there. I'm like, oh, then there's really no better way to do it than that.
No, I would agree.
I get to progress through the training while volunteering.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great. It's absolutely I try to emphasize a crawl, walk, run mentality with my students that are riding with me. And it's exactly what the chief said. Based on your comfort level, how much do you want to do? Do you want to observe and then participate later, or do you feel comfortable right off the rip, jumping right in. And here's the good thing: nobody's going to throw you in over your head.
Yeah.
They're there to help you learn and get the experience that you're looking for. So that's great.
Well, I think that's like what I'm really excited about is, and what I love seeing is that they're so supportive of the educational process,
Yep.
Sure.
which I'm picking up as a general theme in most of EMS.
Well,
Like,
if they support the educational process, they just keep getting better EMTs that come through.
seems like it. How about you, Jonathan? I heard that you may have started a new opportunity yourself.
Yeah. So your question for me at the beginning was something to the effect of, you're always kind of moving on to the next thing or thinking of the next thing, or does the feeling of what you've accomplished ever change? And so for me, the next thing was I had put in my almost 2 years of experience as a paramedic, and uh, had an opportunity present itself with my time and availability to be able to do a paramedic travel contract. So I'm
Oh,
I'm in North Carolina doing a travel contract for a company, and focusing on some things that I haven't done for a very long time in my career. So most of my career has been 911 oriented, but there was the opportunity to make some money as a traveler in the same way like travel nurses are, travel paramedics. And so the money was right, and the opportunity was right to come do some interfacility transports with a company, and kind of get an eye on some more extended care type things.
mm-hmm.
In this setting, most of the things are taken care of, but then when you start to have to move people from smaller facilities to more capable hospitals, and there be some geography in between there. There's some real opportunity to take some really sick people from one place to another, and have to manage them the whole way in between. And
Mm-hmm.
I just finished my first week of orientation last week, and uh, in this field, we are constantly learning. So I'm having to learn new protocols, and I'm going to be evaluated on my learning process for that. And I'm being evaluated at the end of every ride shift. I'm riding with new people every day, different shifts, and it's been a unique experience and opportunity. Doing a little traveling away from home and away from everybody, but everybody I've met so far has been pretty good to work with and talk to, and I've met some friends outside of work so far. And so I'll be down here for another 15 weeks, and
15
at least
weeks.
on this.
Wow.
Yeah, so I signed up for 16 weeks on this contract, and so I'll at least be here for 16 weeks on this contract, and there's always the opportunity to extend on it.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see how it goes, and maybe I'll extend on this one, or maybe I'll go check some other place out. But yeah, that's been the opportunity. And um, you know, lots of changes for me as of recent, and this is one of the big ones, is just getting this opportunity to come out here and um, learn how another place conducts business. And because and here's the cool thing: patient care, no matter where you go, and the customer service aspect of it, it's the same no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll be quite honest. I am nervous going in and meeting people and making sure I do everything to their standards and follow their protocols. But as soon as I got into a situation where I was interacting with patients, it was right back into it,
Yeah.
and it felt natural. and
Mm-hmm.
and that's where my groove is in interacting with patients.
Yeah.
Um, so
Well, I got a.
uh, uh,
Oh, sorry.
go ahead.
No,
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I got a question for you, because like the core job of interacting with patients and patient care. I mean, I've seen you not necessarily in action that way, but I've seen you teach, and I have no doubt that is a core competency for you in terms of being able to move like fluidly into doing that job. But I'm so curious as to the travel aspect of like,
Mhm.
hey, you became a paramedic in Virginia, and your
Yes,
EMS career has been in Virginia, right?
correct.
Is there has it been a difficult process? Has there been anything that's like tripped you up, or that's been like, you know, a learning curve for you in terms of going to North Carolina? Like how does that work? Like the travel thing.
So, the particular location I'm at is about 4.5 hours away from my home in Virginia. Um, and I have a national registry
Mm-hmm.
certification for my paramedic, and so I still had to apply for North Carolina certification.
Okay.
So I submitted. I had to submit paperwork. I had to submit back a background check and fingerprints, and actually part of North Carolina certification is you have to either have an address in North Carolina, or you have to have a job offer. So I kind of got the job first
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
and then had to go through the process of and being on a timetable with that, no less. But go ahead and submit for my North Carolina certification, and that the turnaround process it was fairly painless for me.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a matter of paperwork. The most cumbersome part was submitting fingerprints and then paying the state of North Carolina $38. But that's $38 in the grand scheme of coming to work and make some money was nothing. So it was an
Yeah.
investment.
Yeah.
Um,
Any
but
privileges and or scope of practice that's kind of like a big difference between uh Virginia and North Carolina that you've encountered?
So this contract's kind of interesting. About half of the staff are travelers like me,
Mm-hmm.
and so we all were kind of talking. At least the folks that I've been working with. And it seems to me like most of the interventions and the scope of practice across the board because of evidence-based medicine. We've talked about this in other podcasts, but this specifically does relate to what I'm doing now. It seems to me that most everything is trending towards the same direction because we're all using evidence-based medicine. Now, there might be little tweaks here and there based on what the medical directors are comfortable with in that particular area, but they actually have pretty good protocols here. They have a state level of protocols, and then each area kind of adjusts them or adds on to them as they see fit,
Mm-hmm.
and as the medical directors want to expand the scope or limit the scope of their providers. But yeah, so it's and then even our service has some like in-house protocols that our medical director has for us. So
Mm-hmm.
um it's hasn't been it I'll tell you, there's a lot to memorize in relation to these protocols, but they're not any different. I'm gonna care for the patient more or less the same way
Right.
as I would
Right.
in
Yeah.
Virginia, because of kind of that move towards a standardization with evidence-based medicine. So
Nice.
Cool. Well, it sounds like a great
Yeah.
opportunity and a fun adventure.
For
yeah,
You
sure.
know, any type of new setting is always an interesting way to kind of, you know, expand the skill set and the you know, the experience level that you've had. So now you get to see it
right.
from a different state, a different type of service. So you said this is more interfacility transport, right?
It is,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I was talking to somebody, and there is a mutual aid agreement with our service that if the county here needs some assistance, that we could potentially back the county up. But that is not one of those things to hold your breath on, is what
Mm-hmm.
I was told,
Gotcha.
and I knew that going into
Yeah.
it. Just based on having some experience and kind of knowing the lay of the land, I knew what the deal was.
Right.
And it's for me, yes, the financial component is a big part of why I wanted to do this.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But that wasn't the only reason. It truly was to get out and kind of get some experience that I don't have a bunch of, because at home, my transport times are usually pretty short.
Yep.
Depending on where I'm at. Now they can be up to an hour inside the county, depending on what's going on or where I'm at home. But here, most of my transports that are going to be from facility to facility are going to be, an hour, 45 minutes, maybe even up to 3 or 4 hours, and even longer. So there's an aspect to managing patients, especially really sick ones,
Yep.
for that extended length of time. And
It's
I
experience in
want
and
to,
of itself.
yeah, I want to get more experience in that. For me as a paramedic, my goal is to ultimately do flight medicine. And so there's some aspects of the logistics. One of the flight services I've had the good privilege of talking to folks with, and kind of experiencing some of their education that they provide. Their motto is, it's all about logistics. And this is a step towards
Got it.
working in that environment.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
all about
Yeah, yeah.
logistics.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all about planning and making sure you're 5 steps or 10 steps ahead of what you might need in managing those patients for those extended periods of time.
That's cool. Yeah.
That's very
So-
cool.
I like seeing the progression. Like,
Yeah.
hey, even as a paramedic, you're thinking down the line going, hey, so not just the 911 service, but now the long-term patient care service, and then, all with the ultimate goal of, getting to something that you want to achieve, which is the flight medic stuff,
Which is just cool.
which looks super cool. I mean,
It does indeed.
but I love it because I get to, we're in such different steps of a quote unquote career, but
Sure.
love the idea that we'll be able to do regular contact and kind of share that experience with everyone along the way over the course of the next few months to see how these things are going. But it does leave a gap in this podcast, Max.
Okay.
So we got 2 people here
Yeah.
making progress.
So I was able to finally get a hold. There's an ambulance company that's literally 3 blocks from me. I was able to finally get a hold of someone there Wednesday, which is 2 days from today. I'm going to go over there and kind of find out what the process is with them. Now, if I can, I'm going to try and get the application. I'm probably going to go, now that listening to what you went through, I'm going to go with the paperwork.
Yeah,
in
get all your
hand.
stuff. Bring all your stuff with you.
That way I can be like, here, it's already here.
Make copies.
Exactly. But that's Wednesday. I'm going there after work and kind of seeing what the lay of the land is, what their process is, and where I can or where I can't step in.
That's awesome. No, I'm super excited for both of us.
Yep.
All 3 of us really. Because we're all doing things that are challenging us and making us learn, and that's really what tonight has been about, is kind of just taking that moment to pause and to say hey, we've made progress.
Yeah.
We're moving forward. We've got a plan. We've got goals that we're working towards, and that kind of experience of learning is really helping us get there. With that, we have, we're going to treat this a little bit differently as an episode. We're going to probably not go into our regularly scheduled segments. Mm-hmm. We'll just give you a brief overview of what we've learned so far, and then that'll be kind of where we end this episode tonight, in terms of just giving you an overview of what we've achieved.
What we've so far have learned.
Yeah, we've given you the kind of big things, the personal stories that we've been going through. But as far as what we've gone through in school, we've gone through 8 chapters of the emergency services book.
Yes.
Or emergency. What was the name of the textbook? I don't know. I probably should know it off the top of my head. But our textbook, the big EMS textbook, right? The history, the overview of the system itself, well-being and safety for EMTs, and how really we're the most important person in the paradigm,
and just how to be a long-term EMT
Yeah.
versus
How to survive.
versus a 4-year burnout.
Patient handling, moving patients. This is the one where we've got probably the most practical experience in it.
For sure.
And when the right time to move patients is and how to move them. The legal and ethical issues and morality surrounding EMS and how sometimes, like, I think that was probably one of my favorite episodes so far, is talking through all that stuff. And one of my favorite academic classes in terms of like getting to kind of have some discussions around what does it mean to be like ethically obligated to treat patients. You know, where is the line where those things stop? So a lot of great discussion there. And then of course we got into some of the deeper medical stuff, medical terminology, language, pathophysiology, anatomy. That's I've probably been some of the harder stuff just because there's so many new terms. And
multiple terms for the same thing.
And then that culminated with the last chapter we did in this section, which was lifespan development, which you can check out in chapter 6, episode 6.
Yep.
We just did lifespan development.
Yep.
So we've gone through a lot of knowledge, a lot of academic stuff, a lot of learning. We've taken tests in this stuff each week. So a lot of great things. And I mean, I know a lot more than I did probably 4 or 5 weeks ago, however long we've been doing this. But along with that, we've also gotten some hands-on stuff. And there's really 3 main categories of things that we've gotten some hands-on things in. What are those, Max?
So moving patients, as far as different carries, drags.
A lot.
Think of log rolling and the ability to get someone onto a stretcher. Stair chair practice. The device to move people up and down stairs, different stretchers. We got to use the scoop stretcher, the reef stretcher, physical backboard. I don't think we did a basket stretcher of any kind.
We have not used the basket stretcher. They had it there one night, but we didn't use it.
And just the main thing of like, how are you lifting these patients? Using the reeves going up and down stairs, practical application of the devices. So yeah, the important thing of making sure that you're not getting injured, because if you wind up getting injured again, your lifespan as an EMT is taken down. Also, if you get injured and you're carrying a patient downstairs, that could cause more injury to the patient.
Yes.
And then the next skill set is CPR. We spent an entire night practicing CPR, getting certified, working through using the ball valve mask, working through using the
bag
AED,
valve mask.
Sorry. Working through using the AED, working on not just an adult dummy, but as well as an infant dummy.
Mm-hmm. A lot of good practicals. I mean, and CPR keeps changing.
Yeah.
Every couple of years, it seems like they got a new protocol, a new thing that seems to be more effective than it was before. So it's great to kind of keep up on that and to get certified in it. And
then last section was C-spine.
Yeah, and this is the one we probably had the least amount of hands-on experience with, but it was a good practice session in terms of like immobilization. Learning to do it manually with our hands, to keep a patient steady in case there is the chance that they have a cervical injury, but also application of the C collar.
Yes.
Which we got a bunch of reps on the other night.
And it definitely is one of those things where like you really don't know how to use it until you try and use it.
Oh yeah, it's way more difficult than I thought it would be.
Way more complicated, very counterintuitive on your spacing and where to put it. So it's definitely one of those things where getting hands on with it was huge.
And it's not a one size fits all thing.
No,
I'm sure you guys put them on each other in class, but yeah, like you're going to get somebody eventually that has absolutely no neck at all. And you're trying to put a collar on them and you got to improvise. And you just don't have the perfect answer because, bodies are different.
Yeah.
And then, I think along with the C-spine practice, hands-on stuff with the cervical collar was also, the kind of movement stuff to minimize some of the potential injury as well. And So like scoop stretcher practice,
Yes.
as well as which doesn't seem as used nowadays, or at least that's what it sounds like from the instructors, and what I think I've heard from you, Jonathan, too, is that like we did learn how to use a backboard and how to get people onto a backboard, and the one that like where it has the red things on the side. I wish I knew what it was
The
called.
head blocks.
The head blocks. Thank you.
Yeah.
And how to get patients onto that, and then to use that as a C-spine, basically, right? Like it's helping control, movement from that standpoint. So we got a lot of practice that evening in terms of like how to help patients stay still, for lack of a better term. But yeah, so it's been a great mix.
Yeah, I think I really enjoyed the practical stuff. I'm not surprised I enjoyed the practical stuff. Getting in there, using my hands, doing things is the best way I learn. It's just how I work. So the ability to use all those devices and get hands-on, and like seeing someone do it as an instructor is one thing. It is different getting your hands on it yourself and doing the things. It's not the same thing. So yeah, it was really a lot of fun.
Yep. So I think that's where we'll kind of wrap this thing up this week in terms of calling this our review episode, our clips episode, if you will.
Section 1 review.
We'll treat these with a slightly different format. A little bit more story time, a little bit less deep dive into concepts, because everything that we're going to be talking about is stuff that we've probably chatted about in the previous 7 episodes.
Yes.
So, with that, just want to say thank you all for taking the ride with us. We're having a great time kind of learning all this stuff with you all. And let us know what you think, how we're doing. And we invite you all to kind of interact with us, and, come check out the socials on Facebook. We have a Facebook page for RideAlong podcast, RideAlong EMT School podcast. Actually, if you go into the bio, there's a link in the bio. I should just tell people there's,
it probably is
link
easier.
in the bio.
Yeah.
Like that's the way to tell.
Yeah.
So, come check us out, and, thank you all for taking the ride with us. And until next time, we'll see you then.
Thanks, guys.
This podcast is for educational and storytelling purposes only. It is not medical advice or official EMT training. Always follow your accredited instructors and local protocols.
Heartbeats racing in